So here I am, letting medical professionals zap my brain with magnets. What the heck am I doing? Well, let's talk about repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, also known as rTMS. As most of you know, I suffer from long COVID, and it's coming on 2 years of chronic migraines, brain fog, extreme fatigue, muscle aches, and general pain. And this all goes up and down on any given day. Not to mention the fact that if I try and do things like exercise, or if I get sick, I end up crashing and my body basically just shuts down. So for chronic migraines and overall pain, I've been taking quite hardcore medication called atogepant daily, but still suffering migraines in between. And because of this, I needed something else to help me. I don't want to keep just loading up on medication. And I was already seeing an osteo for peripheral magnetic stimulation, which I will make a video about so you can see what that is. But because that treatment helped but wore off after a few days, she suggested I look into rTMS.
My name is Ashish Srivastava.
Would you mind just telling me a little bit about what exactly is rTMS?
Yeah, sure. So rTMS stands for Repetitive Transcranial Magnetic Stimulation. And essentially what it is applying basically little magnets placed onto the brain to target basically neural pathways. So it has various different ways it can help. It can help people with depression, anxiety, PTSD, chronic pain. So it's got lots of different ways it can be helpful. And with our NICE guidance as well, it's been proven to be effective. So the analogy I like to give is that if you imagine like a world map, and basically there's like a power outage somewhere in one area of the map, and the way rTMS works is that it helps us sort of bring those lights back together and rewire the sort of circuits.
So rTMS is a non-invasive, NICE guideline approved, that's an NHS UK thing, non-medication based therapy that targets pain nerves in the brain to help reduce the amount of pain perceived by the body. So let's talk about pain. People who suffer from chronic pain conditions like migraines, myopathy, or fibromyalgia become overly sensitive to pain. So if you're like me and you're feeling it day in, day out, then your brain is actually strengthening the pain pathways, which you really don't want. So sometimes you can be feeling pain even when there are no signals coming from the body. This is called central sensitization, where the nervous system is in a heightened state of reactivity. Like my pain volume knob is turned up just way too high.
Sure, so my name is Elliot Nation and I am an rTMS specialist osteopath at Naya Health. I've been working with rTMS for approximately 4.5 years now, mostly in the field of chronic pain, fibromyalgia, that sort of thing.
Amazing. What is rTMS?
Yeah, so it's a form of neuromodulation, which is a fancy way of saying we can change the level of activity that's happening in certain areas of the brain.
Yep.
So depending on whether we want to increase the activity or decrease the activity of a certain area, we apply it in a slightly different way, and that will depend on what we're treating. So for example, when we're talking about fibromyalgia, chronic pain, we are able to see, using what we call a functional MRI scan, different levels of activity in the brains of people with fibromyalgia compared to people who don't have it. So what we find is that the areas that process pain are more active, and then the connectivity between certain areas is actually reduced. So the idea of the rTMS is that we take those differences that we see in connectivity and activity, and we try to rebalance them back to a healthier baseline.
Amazing. And have you had many patients through the pain do these sessions?
Yeah.
And how have they responded?
Yeah, so over the 4 years I've been doing it, I've seen over 100 patients, I think, for fibro now. We track people's progress using questionnaires and things like that. and actually published a report of, I think it was the first 20 patients that we had. So published some research. You can go and have a look at that. It's publicly available.
Amazing. I'll put a link into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had great results. I think about 90% of people had some response, so some improvement. About 40% had remission, which for fibromyalgia is not supposed to be possible. So we were super excited by that. It was amazing to actually get people who no longer fulfill the criteria of having fibromyalgia. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Super exciting. So rTMS deals with what's happening in the brain, but actually, this is a big part of what we're trying to do here at Naya is treat the person as a whole, and actually look at them and what do they need individually, and figure out the right people for them to see and do all of that sort of stuff. So the rTMS is a brilliant tool, but it's not everything. There's other things as well that are usually needed to make that recovery stick.
Okay, amazing.
All right.
And just last question, have you had any long COVID patients specifically, and what was the outcomes?
Yeah, we have had a few. There's very little research into long COVID, but actually there's so much crossover in the symptoms between long COVID and fibromyalgia that actually we have treated a few on the basis of the presentation being very similar. And we have had some good results. Actually, we've got a couple of people who responded really well to it. We've not seen a lot. I think I've seen maybe 3 or 4.
Okay.
But I think sort of 3 out of the 4 did well.
Okay,
So
great.
so there is some hope there. Yeah.
Some hope.
Yeah.
So let's talk about who is suitable for rTMS and who is not.
The nice thing about TMS is we can actually treat lots of different conditions with it. So the main things that we treat are depression, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue type issues, anxiety, OCD and addiction. The way that we do it is we target a different part of the brain for each indication. So we find the area of the brain that's most associated with that illness, that disease, and then we target it in a specific way for that treatment.
Great. Okay. So, is there anyone who should not have TMS?
Yes, there are a couple of things that mean that you can't have TMS, and it's mostly to do with having metal implanted in the head or skull. So that's things like cochlear implants, aneurysm clips, or metal plates, and that's just because electricity, magnetism and metal don't tend to go too well together. We're also a little more cautious with people with epilepsy, just because there's a very, very small 1% seizure risk in people with epilepsy. So we tend to be a little more cautious with those people, but it's not an absolute no for those.
Okay, thanks.
Hey guys, I'm here and I'm about to do my first rTMS session and I have a consultation with the doctor right now. It should be really interesting to see how this goes. It will be pretty intense. It's going to be 10 days, each day, Monday to Friday, for 2 weeks for 1.5 hours. So it's an intense 2 weeks coming up. I'm a bit nervous and I'm not entirely sure what to think. Yeah, I'm going to be seeing them for the pain that I'm currently feeling, which is not just migraines, but it's also neck, it's also shoulders. Yeah, so it should be interesting. And I got my Halloween earrings on as well. All right, guys, I'll see you later. So this is the interview with the consulting doctor to confirm that I am a suitable candidate, that I have no metal implants in my brain, and that I know what to expect going into this therapy. Hey guys, so I am here at Naya Health, about to do my first session for Transcranial Magnetic Stimulation. It is very early in the morning, please forgive me. Very nervous and excited about how's this going to work. It is 2 sessions a day for the next 10 days, so Monday to Friday and then the following week Monday to Friday. What it ends up being is about 1.5 hours per day. So it's a half-hour session, a half-hour break, and then another half-hour session. And that gives me 20 sessions all in, which apparently for pain protocol, that's the best way forward. But this first session, I have to do an hour's, I think it's called heart-brain coupling, which we will find out more about when we go into the session. And that's to like sync up my heartbeats and my the area in the brain that they're going to be targeting for pain, because everyone's brain is slightly different, so we need to personalize it. And that's what's going to happen this morning. So this morning session is going to be quite a long one. Yeah, it's a lot of energy to come in to the city every day to do this and then go back home. So I won't be doing much else for the next 2 weeks, but I will take you on this journey, and yeah, I hope, fingers crossed, that it yields some good results. All right, let's go. First thing is to work out where to target in my brain. Where is the pain centered and how is it affecting my body? They do this by strapping a heart monitor to me, which is under my clothes, and then measuring the movement in my fingers based on the electrical pulses the wand gives me. Then it gets written onto my cool little hat. So this is so that each time I have rTMS, they will target the correct area because it's written on my hat. Hey guys, it is day 2 and I am here again. It's not as early this morning, but I still feel, just had my first session and I'm waiting for my second session of the day. The first session, so it was all there and it was like boop, boop, boop. It's like an angry woodpecker tapping on your head quite angrily is how it feels. And yeah, it started off quite painful, like sore painful, and then it just dissolved into like just taps. So yeah, they're half-hour sessions with a half-hour break in between, so I'm just on my break. And yeah, get my second session today. Let's see, I started the day off feeling like this aura of pain over my shoulders and my head, and then after the first session, my head started to clear up quite massively, so I felt like, oh my god, I can actually think clearly and plan things, and which is great, and I don't feel as much pain. Partly that could have been because I was lying down as well, but yeah, so I'm hoping that this second session will make me feel even better afterwards. So let's see, seems to be doing something at least. So as days went on, I noticed my overall pain reduced and cleared up each time I had a session. Hi everyone! So today is day 4 of TMS therapy. I thought I'd give you a little walkthrough of what it is actually like. So let's go!
Are you ready?
Yeah. Cool, and this is my little cap where I have like all the markings. I don't know if you guys can see them. All right.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we are.
Day 5, and we are halfway through the TMS sessions. Is it working, I hear you ask? I don't know. I am wondering about that because I know that it relieves the headaches if I get them in my head and I come in and I do a session. I'm still getting neck and shoulder tension, and I still had a bit of brain fog this morning and yesterday. So I guess we're halfway through. It's not showing like crazy amazing results, but it's definitely helping me and I do feel calmer. So fingers crossed, we will see how this goes, and maybe it still needs a couple of days to settle. We've got another 10 sessions next week, so cross your fingers for me and I will keep you updated. All right, see you later. So in week 2, it started off with lots of fatigue and me suffering from glandular fever, which only compounded the fatigue. And I ended up getting pretty worn down by Wednesday. Hey guys, it's now day 7 of TMS therapy, and the hardest part for me is the exhaustion. I am absolutely wiped just getting into the city, taking the tube. It wasn't even like difficult. There weren't delays or anything, but just getting here and my body feels so heavy. I've got like crazy brain fog all the way around my head. Anyway, so I might actually take a rest day tomorrow because my therapist is suggesting that, and I will catch you guys and finish this all next week. Cool. See you later. So I took a break on Thursday and decided to do my final sessions the following week. Hey guys, as you know, I have been doing repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation therapy, and today is my final day. I have 2 sessions left to go. So here are my top 3 hopes and fears about this whole process. Number 1, top hope is I will be migraine free, or at least hugely reduced. So maybe even 1 a fortnight instead of 3 to 5 migraines a week. 2, that it'll reduce the amount of like just random body aches and pain that I get, especially around the head, neck and shoulders, and it will maybe release those muscles a little bit, stop them from tightening all the time. And number 3, that it will help my body fight the long COVID by helping my vagus nerve relax back into the rest, relax situation. So my top 3 fears are that 1, it's the end and I'm supposed to be seeing some results by now, but I had a horrible headache 3 days ago, terrible muscle pains 2 days ago, and yeah. So number 2, my big fear is that I spent all this time and money for nothing and it hasn't really worked. And number 3 is that I've just worn myself out for the last 2.5 weeks because I've had to go into the city every single day and it's been absolutely exhausting. So I'm just annoyed or worried that I've done it all and all this energy expenditure is for absolutely nothing. So those are my top 3 hopes and fears. I will check in and let you know how this all goes in like a week or so. So till next time, I will see you guys later. I'm sure you're keen to hear how I'm getting on a week from my final treatment. Really, really good. I have had 2 minor headaches late at night, but that's it. I also got my period, and usually that is when my worst migraines happen. And I'm very pleased to report I've had no migraines. Woo! I still have muscle aches and pains, and it varies daily, and they're not as distracting like a migraine. Overall, I've also had so much more clarity, no brain fog. I can concentrate, I can focus on a task for like 2 hours. Overall, I'd had so much more clarity, so much less brain fog. Like I can concentrate, I can focus for like 2 hours. So I still get muscle aches and sensitivity in the senses, touch, sight and hearing, but no aura of pain so far. No migraines in the last week when I normally have like 2 or more. So yay! My reflections? The fatigue was much worse than I expected. I mean, it was probably compounded with being ill on top of everything else. I'm not sure I could have done anything to mitigate that, but don't start the treatment if you feel yourself getting ill. I would suggest waiting a bit. My other tip is be gentle with yourself on treatment days. In between treatment, rest, hydrate, eat something, give yourself time to recover, clear your schedule during the treatment times, and also maybe a week or so afterwards as well, just to kind of give yourself that recovery. So, what does my therapist think?
Has there been anything that you've observed with my journey through TMS over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the tricky thing with what's happened with you is obviously you had the illness in the middle of it, which has caused a bit more fatigue. But I've noticed, and you've reported improvements in the kind of brain fog and that side of things, and I have noticed that you seem a bit brighter, you seem a little more clear, and just speaking a bit faster and that kind of thing, and forming sentences a bit quicker. So I've noticed that. And yeah, you seem a bit brighter in yourself as well. So that's cool. Always nice to see. Yeah.
That's great, thank you.
I don't always, tell people this because what the patient is feeling is the most important thing. So, but actually, as you asked, I think that is quite interesting that I have noticed some changes in you.
Thank you.
Wow, that's great news. I am so happy that he noticed a difference because I didn't notice any of that. So if you're interested in getting TMS or you want a free consultation about it, I'd say go for it. How do you get this? Well, I did my sessions in London at Naya Health, a new clinic based in Bond Street. I'll put a link to their contact details below. Otherwise, I suggest just Googling repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation near me to find out your closest clinics. If you live in Toronto, I believe there is a free pain rTMS clinic, so do check that out. So that's it for rTMS therapy. It's a win. I am pleased with the results so far, the clarity of thought, the migraine-free weeks, and I'm hoping to notice more things as the weeks go by. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video, and any other suggestions for other therapies, always welcome. Till next time, stay safe out there, stay positive, and I will see you soon. Bye.